Hey guys, this is a flea market finds video from early May 2021, and I misplaced the little welcome clip that I usually do, so this is going to have to suffice. Let's dive right into this one. So I got there bright and early, and I made a beeline right for one of my favorite guys who's there every week, and always seems to have something that's of interest, and always seems to have really good prices. And it's gotten to the point now where he recognizes me as a regular buyer, and he takes care of me on price and everything. So, anywho, didn't have a whole bunch there for me to look through this time, but I ended up picking out some items there. But he had a box of stuff, and I picked through, and I spotted this screw pitch gauge. It's an Ace, which is made in the USA. Nowhere near the value of like the Starrett one, for instance, but good usable American-made screw pitch gauge. Nothing wrong with that. I thought this was kind of cool. This is a Union Twist Drill Company of Athol, Massachusetts, drill point gauge, and it also acts as a advertising piece for them. Probably were giving these away as premiums, maybe to people who were buying certain amounts of stuff or whatever. So this kind of is a collectible as a advertising piece, as well as actually just a nice little drill point gauge for people who want to grind their own drills. So I got that, and these three new old stock hole saws. These are 1 1/8 all of them. Unfortunately, he only had 3 and they were all the same size. I don't remember if there was a name on these or not, but he pointed these out to me because he thought they were pretty cool. It's a special carbide hole saw. Oh, they're Starrett. Yeah, as soon as I said, once he pulled them out and I saw they were Starrett, I was like, oh, okay. 1 1/8, 29 millimeter, American-made Starrett. But look at the cutters on the end here. So isn't that funky? So I don't know what these retail for, but I bet you they're not cheap. So I got this pile. I believe I got this pile for $10 or $15, which I thought was well worth it. And then later on, I moseyed back over to his table because sometimes, after I've gone through a few times, I'll head back to him and I'll just dig through a little deeper into some of his boxes and stuff. And I came across this thing, okay, and I was looking at it, and I asked him, because I know he's interested in old tools and stuff too. I asked him, I said, you have any idea what this is? So he was looking at it and I was looking at it, and he said he wasn't sure what it was, and he said, you can have it if you want. And all right, sure, I'll take it for free, what the heck. And then he says, I think there's 2 of them in there. So I dug around in the box and I found the other one. He said, yeah, you take them. So he gave me these for free. And then, as I was looking at them and he gave them to me, I figured out what I think they are. And, I pointed it out to him. And he agreed that they're kind of neat. So let me show you the end here. So hopefully that is focusing. Got an unusual tip on here. Okay. And if you watch that little nub right in the center there while I turn this knob, I'm probably going to lose focus when I do this. Alright, that one's stuck. Alright, so this one's moving. It's got like a cam action to it. I don't know if you've seen that moving or not. I'm probably losing focus. See it? There we go. Now it's freeing up. Alright, so let me show you what this little doohickey does. So what this is, or what I believe this is it's a screw holder for situations where you want to reach down inside of a confined space and get a screw started. In other words, if you put you could have a magnetic tip screwdriver to do this, right? But maybe this predates the idea of magnetic tips. I don't know. or maybe you just need something more secure. So what happens is, so it kind of locks into this neutral position where that tang is lined up perfectly with the other two tangs, and then that allows you to insert this into the head of the screw, into the slot on the screw head, and then you turn that to release it. Now that tang has popped sideways and it's spring loaded, and it's putting force on there, and it's basically wedging that in there. Oops, sorry, I was out of frame. But now that is attached. So now you can imagine I could reach down into that bore, get the screw started. Once the screw is started, all I got to do is give it a slight twist, and the idea is that this would pop off. Okay, so here's the thing about this. It really holds the screw pretty well, a lot better than any magnetic screwdrivers I have. And as you know, anybody who's dealt with a magnetic screwdriver knows that the problem with a magnetic screwdriver is that as you're reaching down into a tight confined space, typically the magnetism of the screwdriver, if it's strong, it's trying to pull it off course. So this is kind of a neat thing. So this is clearly marked with a maker's name and a part number. It's marked Old Forge. So I don't know how well that's showing up, but it's marked Old Forge TX5. Oh, interesting. These, even though these look identical, one's marked Old Forge TX5, the other one is just marked Made in the USA and has a patent number on it. So I'd say that since they're identical, they're probably both same company. But with that patent number, I bet you we could figure out when this thing was invented. Hey, so found out a little bit of information based on the patent on these. So these were patented, patent applied for by a George F. Pearson back in 1939. And so when I look for Old Forge and that part number, I can't find anything. I do find other things made by Old Forge, but not these. But what's interesting is if you search on eBay by the patent number, you can find a listing for one that is marked Pearson Tools USA. So George F. Pearson apparently had his own company at one point, but then he must have licensed this to other people or sold the patent or something, because there's also listings for the similar type of screw starter with the name. This one's made by New Britain Machine Company, and I think I saw another one somewhere. That was just marked Made in USA with the patent number. Same with that one. Oh, this is interesting. This one is marked Bonnie Pearson, B-O-N-N-E-Y. Bonnie is a mechanics tool company that I remember seeing the name of, old Bonnie wrenches. So I don't know if they merged with Pearson at some point, maybe. I don't know. So one of the things I discovered about this thing when reading the patent application is that by design, it's supposed to be able to be released once the screw is driven in far enough so that the screw can't rotate anymore. If you continue to rotate it, it releases. So it's kind of an ingenious little design. Such a simple little tool. So that George Pearson was one smart cookie. So I was walking along and I spotted this at a dealer. It was open like this, and I was like, oh, pair of dial calipers. And then I saw, oh, $5. Oh, they gotta be like cheap Chinese ones. And immediately realized, oh, there is no crystal. So I was like, oh, well, that's kind of a bummer. So, you know, is it even worth it? But then, luckily, I looked at it more closely. And what's cool about these is that these are from the Union Tool Company of Orange, Massachusetts. I have run into several things from the Union Tool Company of Orange, Massachusetts, which is Orange, Massachusetts is right near Athol, where Starrett is. And the funny thing is, I've never seen a pair of dial calipers from this company until now. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So the other weird thing is that right over here, it's clearly marked that this is a precision product of Japan. So these were imported by the Union Tool Company and sold, which is kind of neat because I noticed that the case is eerily similar to early Mitutoyo cases. So I'm wondering whether or not these might have been early Mitutoyo ones that were, made for Union Tool Company. It's funny that the face is so shiny that you can actually see the glare that makes it look like this crystal is there, but the crystal is definitely missing. So I just ordered a new replacement crystal for this because I think this is going to be worth doing a little bit too before I offer it up for sale. It's kind of a neat piece. I think it's neat. Then I was going along and I saw this dealer had I saw this case from Mitutoyo. I recognized it as a modern Mitutoyo digital caliper case. And my first thought was, okay, maybe they're knockoffs. And so then I went over and I picked them up and I turned them on. And to my surprise, they turned on. And the more I looked at them, the more I realized they were genuine. And then come to find out, all of a sudden, I noticed he had more than one pair there. So I'm like, well, what's going on? So I talked to the guy, and it turns out he worked in a shop. So he started hoarding them, I guess. So I bought all that he had. Got a really good deal on them. I ended up buying 7 pairs of absolute Mitutoyo digital calipers, and these are all the same model number. They're all 6-inch. They're all number 500-196-20s. Oh, actually, there's a couple of -30s in here. So this one has a good case, but it's doing this, it's doing that, which I had a pair of these previously that was doing that when the battery was low. So they won't zero or do anything, but they're not completely broken, and they've got the battery doors. So another one with a case that's not broken, doing the same thing. Another one with a case that's not broken. Okay, so this one is missing the battery. These all had calibration stickers on them too, which is another good sign that they, actually came from a shop where they were being used and are most likely genuine Mitutoyos. This one, it's got the little tang broken off the battery door on this one. This one, the hinge on the case is broken, so it's taped up. Oh yeah, this one's a train wreck. This one, for whatever reason, the rod, it looks like the rod's broken. I honestly don't even remember why I grabbed this one. I think maybe I was thinking maybe I could use, yeah, that's why I grabbed this one, because it's got a good battery door. I mean, I got these for about, I think, $10 a piece by buying them all. This one works. It's got 4 places after the decimal, so it can read in half thousandths resolution. So these seem to be working perfectly fine. But the cases, all right, so this case is in better shape. This one will not turn on or do anything. No battery in it. So I'll have to check that one. And here's another one. Good battery door, but also the depth rod is broken. So I wonder if this would actually work. All right, I'll take a few minutes and go through these and see what we got. Well, here's the end result, the tail of the tape, so to speak. I got 3 good working pair. These were the ones that were pretty much flashing, and with a fresh battery and reset the origin, and they seem fine. This one is a model -30, and these two are fine, and they're both 30s. So all the 30s are working ones. This one's working fine, but it doesn't have the depth. The depth rod is broken off. Same thing with this one. These are both 20s. No, I'm sorry, that's a 30 and that's a 20. This one has broken off depth rod, and the battery door is bad. And I didn't notice that the battery door style is a little bit different on the -30s than on the -20s. So I can't put this good door on this one. and then this one works. It just has a again, the depth rod is broken off. Next up, I scored these collets. I honestly don't remember what I ended up getting all of these for, but I'm sure I didn't pay more than $1 or $2 a piece, because that's usually what I end up doing. But they're interesting. They have almost like a R8 shape to them, but then when you put them next to an R8 collet, you can see it's not just a matter of the fact that these are made for use with a draw tube. They also have a different taper at the top here. So I'm not sure what these collets are, but I took a chance on them. Like I said, I probably only paid $1 or $2 a piece for them. And what I spotted that I also got for the same money as the collets was this. And what this is this is a collet adapter. So this was in the box with these. Sure enough, it's a perfect fit for these. And what this does is this adapts these collets into, most likely, I didn't check it yet, but most likely this is a Morse taper. So this would go right in the spindle on a lathe if you had the right size spindle. Okay, because a lot of spindles have a Morse taper in them. So then the idea is you put this in your spindle, and then you can use these collets, and then you would need a draw tube to come in through the back of the spindle and thread to this, which oddly enough I have I think I still have a draw tube that I don't know what it belonged to, but actually I think that might be 5C. So what you need is something like this. This is a collet closer or draw tube, but this one's made for 5C, or a collet closer, which typically has a lever on it, for like on a lot of hard-inch lathes, and that had those, and that's for nice, quick, easy release of the part when you're doing multiples on a manual lathe. And another reason why I decided to grab these was because I spotted that some of these are Hardinge, which is a good brand. Well, I don't, if you're looking at this and you know what these are, and it goes without saying that Hardinge is a high-end collet. So I've got 5 Hardinge, 2 unidentified, and 3 Star branded collets, and the adapter. So at that point, I had just finished the deal on all of those Mitutoyo digital calipers, and felt like it was a pretty good day. And then I ran into the dealer who I had not seen since pre-COVID, so over a year ago, when I had bought out a whole bunch of brand new old stock Brown & Sharp and Starrett micrometers that I featured on a video quite a while back. And lo and behold, he was back again, and he had some more. So, initially, he wanted like 45 or 50 per micrometer, but I knew that if I put together a large enough deal, that I could get him down on that price, and it ended up working out well. In fact, I even added some stuff in to close the deal. A couple of things that I initially had passed on. For instance, initially I saw these Minotaur dial calipers. This set here, I think I had already figured I was going to take. He had 35 on these. And then he had 35 on these. In the end, I ended up getting both of these in the deal. They're nice dial calipers. And then he had, this is a Techlock, which is a cheap brand, but what it is it's a thickness gauge, and it's like in mint condition, great shape. And I think in the end, when it all works out, I end up paying like $10 for this. So nothing wrong with that. I'll be able to flip that easy. And then he had this General MG branded set here. So he had $30 on this, and I probably ended up getting this for like 20. But again, this is like in really great shape, and it's a back button style indicator, kind of like a Starrett 196 set, and it's got all the little attachments. It's got a couple different contact points to go with it. And the other thing it's got, which you can't do with a 196, is it has this deal here, which allows you to actually, you unscrew on the top here, you unscrew this port. Okay, there's a plug in there, and that plug comes out, and you take that plug out, and this screws into the top. And what it does is it turns this back button indicator into almost like a DTI with a long probe for doing bores. It's kind of a neat thing. So the funny thing about MG Tool is that all of the MG Tool stuff looks very import, but it's all marked made in the USA. And I don't know what the relationship is between MG Tool and General Hardware, but this is branded. You can see it's branded General MG. So I've had some MG stuff in the past, MG Tool stuff that was clearly marked made in Japan. So I don't know whether or not, like, could this be a tool importer? Could this actually still be an import? But I mean, that says made in the USA right on the dial of the indicator. So that does not seem to me like it's just a situation where they, they put MG Tool USA. Say made in the USA. That's a different kettle of fish. He had this set sitting there. This is definitely import Taiwan milling chuck, SYIC 3800. SYIC stands for apparently the Shenyang Industrial Company Limited, and what it is it's an ER collet system. So I don't know how many you're missing. So what we got is an R8 to ER, what are these, 32? No, these are bigger, right? I honestly don't remember. This says EOC 25. Anywho, I'm going to have to look this up real quick. So we've got the collet holder. And we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 collets and the wrench for the clamping nut. So how many are supposed to be in here? I don't think that all of these spots were originally filled on this set. So this company's still in business, but their website no longer shows this R8 collet chuck. Apparently they no longer offer the R8 one, which is odd because they still offer a Morse taper one. A lot of the generic Chinese milling chucks like this, they come with either 11 or 15 piece collet sets. And actually, I think when they say 11 piece, I don't even think it's necessarily 11 collets. I think they're actually counting like this and this as two other things. So, but that being said, I did, when I searched for this specific number right here, I did find one old listing off of eBay, which I thought was kind of interesting. Right here. So you see that's saying that somebody was selling the R8 collet chuck set, that part number, and it said 7 collets. So apparently this did originally come with only the 7 collets. You can buy sets like these off of eBay, cheap ones, without the plastic case, where they just have the pieces loose or whatever, and you can get it for like $50 shipped from China. So I don't know how much this is really worth, but I might keep this for myself. I don't know.